Oh, it's looking like, okay, I'm here. Hello? Yes. Oh, thank God. Hey, everyone. So sorry.
Yeah, that was a lot. I'm glad you're finally in. So sorry
Yes.
about that, guys. Sorry for delaying you guys. Okay, so we have a couple of people still gonna join us, but right now I'm just going to take your bio again. I'm gonna read that just so that everyone can, know who we are talking about and who we have on board. All right, hi everyone. Welcome to class again. This is the 5 months business development series with AKL, and we have the third month this time around, and we have Michelle Maldonado with us. She's the founder of Maldonado Communication, a business transformation agency that helps small service-based businesses build strong brands, simplify their marketing, and attract more of their ideal clients. With more than 25 years of experience, Mitchell teaches entrepreneurs how to clarify their brand, generate leads, convert sales using content marketing, tools like email, SEO, website, and social media. She has worked with Fortune 500 companies as well as local small businesses to create strategies that drive growth and lasting impact. Now, this is the fun part. This summer, this fall, she launched the Brand and Build Collective, an online learning community with a 90-day course that guides business owners step by step to clarify their brand and build a marketing plan that consistently attracts the right clients without being overwhelmed and overburnt. Miss put our heart in this particular project, and right now I see the way it is, it is all over LinkedIn. I'm super, super excited. So permit me to present to you once again Miss Mitchell Maldonado. It's nice to have you here, honestly. I'm really grateful, and I can't wait to learn a lot from you. Okay. Uh, Say hi to her. Say hi. Hope you guys
Hello.
can hear me.
Hi, you're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hello. Hello. Great to meet you. Great to be here. I'm so sorry for the late start. My technology with Telegram is not great. I don't use the platform, but now I will be using it because here I am introduced to it. So thank you so much for that. Learning already. So, Adejua, thank you for inviting me. I have a presentation I want to share. I don't know how to do that. I'm trying to see if I can share. I don't know if that's something that I could do, but it's not looking like I can find it. So what I will do is I will just speak to the slides, and if you want the presentation afterwards, you can have it. I apologize that I will not be able to show it, but I think the message is the most important thing. So are you hearing me clearly?
I can hear you
Loud
clearly,
and
and I'm
clear.
sure that
I
you
can hear
can.
you.
Okay. I could probably share the screen from here, or we could have it, on the group later, and it could be sent right now so they could follow through. But I don't know why
Oh,
you
okay.
can't share from your hand.
Oh, so then if I click on screen, I just don't want to unable to share your screen, use
Share
brand.
screen. Do you have
Yeah,
access
so
to
maybe
share screen? The share screen button.
yeah, you know what? Oh, yes. So let's see
Okay.
if that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Oh yeah.
see. Screen. Okay, so is it going to come through?
I
This
think
is you.
I think it is. It's saying video is
Okay.
paused.
Yes, it's waiting for me to respond. Okay, so let's see if Hmm. It's my my presentation is not visible from the actual screen I'm seeing. So bear with me. I see this. The presentation's there. So I'm wondering if it's showing this presentation. So strange. Oh boy. Let's see. Can you see it now better? You see it? No.
It's not printable.
You're seeing my this thing, this little arrow. You see going in circles.
Not at all.
That's no, you don't see that. Don't worry about it. I don't want to hold this up anymore. I'm just not going to. I'll share the presentation. So
All right,
this will
that
be
works.
just me walking through. And thank you guys so much for having me. I will get right to all the gold and nuggets that I've been able to share with Adejua and with other people that have come and into my Brand and Build collective um, community to learn about branding. And this is the information that I am going to share with you today. One of the things that I want to make sure that I do is that I'm not spending too much time on theory. I want you to walk away today with ideas, with actual things, actions you can start taking. But I do like to teach. So I do like to talk to you about the why, not just the how. So I'll be doing a little bit of both. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what brand really is and what it isn't. I'm going to also talk to you about the importance of identifying your ideal client profile, what we call ICP. So ideal customer or client, whichever one you like to refer to. And it is the person who you are speaking to, who you are selling your services to, who you are serving. And so you want to make sure that you are so crystal clear about who that person is so that as you develop your brand, as you put energy and thought and actions behind your brand, you always think about your client or your customer first. You always think about them first. You don't think about your brand first. You think of your brand as the facilitator to your client or your customer's ability to reach their dream outcome. So you're like a guide. You are the facilitator. You are the one that's going to make it possible for them to alleviate a pain or achieve a desire. And that's how you have to think of yourself and of your brand as a guide, as a facilitator for your ideal audience, for your ideal client, for the person that you're looking to serve. So you want to also, in your branding, think about how your business can stand out. How can it be different from all these other businesses that are pretty much doing the same service? And I'm going to get into that. And you want to be able to craft your messages, how you talk to your audience in a way so that they feel that you understand them and then you're speaking directly to them and to their pains, which you're going to alleviate, or the desires that you are going to fulfill. So also the importance of maintaining brand consistency, because one of the things that builds trust, and that is ultimately what you want to do, is you want to focus on who you're talking to, but how you serve them and how through time showing up consistently the same way every time with a clear value that you're offering, you're building trust. And when you build trust, then you're unstoppable because your client and your customer becomes loyal. They can depend on you and they will keep coming back. So what I will ask is, I'm going to go through my slides, which you're not going to see, but I'm going to deliver the message. And at the end, I will leave some time for questions. Branding is the feeling that you leave behind. So after you've engaged, if you are a person who is providing a service, let's say you're a consultant, or you could be a storefront, you could have a store where you're selling products, you're engaging with your clients and you're engaging with your customers. You want that interaction and that exchange to leave that person feeling amazing. So you can think of yourself as your person, as a brand. You can have friendships. You can have relationships with your family members. How do you leave them after you've had an interaction with them? So you can translate that. You obviously want to always leave a good impression. It's not always possible with family, but for the most part, we want to have leave a good impression. So with your business, you want to be able to do that consistently. So your branding is more than just the logo and the colors. The logo and the colors can be important in a message you want to convey, a feeling you want to communicate quickly. But ultimately, what you want to do is you want to be able to create a perception that is maintained even when you're not in the room. So branding is the perception customers hold when you're not in the room. So when you're not there influencing how they're going to see you, it's that lasting feeling afterwards. That's your branding. So your branding is built on your reputation, how relevant you are to that client or that customer and to their lives, and then also being able to be recognized in having exposure. So you want to be able to have visibility and to be seen. This takes time, but if you're cultivating your reputation, you're cultivating your relevance, and you're giving and talking about your value, then you start becoming more and more recognized. So if marketing is the action that gets you seen and creates visibility for you, branding is what allows you to be remembered. So one question that I have for the group to think about, to ponder on, is when people think about your business, whether you're the business, you are the personal brand, or it's outside of you, what 3 words would you want them to say? So if I ask myself that question, being an agency, but also being a consultant, I want to be able to be remembered for somebody who is authentic, who has integrity. So what I say is what I do, and I am trustworthy, and I am helpful. I am informative. I am teaching. I am allowing people to learn something so that they can improve upon themselves. So what I would want people to think about and remember me for is for my genuineness to help, desire to help, to be of service, to be informative and knowledgeable, and to be also accessible. Somebody who genuinely wants the others, clients, customers to excel just as much as I want to excel for myself. So we're all in this together. Okay, so the 3 pillars of every strong brand. There are 3. The first one is you want to have clarity. Clarity is so important because clarity allows you to not be confusing. So you want to be able to convey who you are, who you serve, how you're different, all of this information. You want to be able to do it in a way that is clear, it's not confusing, but it's also crafted so that the person who you're looking to serve understands and feels heard and feels identified with. So this comes about by knowing who you are and what you stand for. So being clear about what those things are, who you are, what you stand for, then it allows you to move to the next pillar, which is connection. So the first pillar is clarity, then you're moving on to connection. And connection is when the client, the customer, your ideal audience steps into the story, and who they are becomes very important, because who you are and what you stand for is something that you are then connecting and conveying to that person who is going to get the most benefit from your services. And you understanding who they are and how to reach them and how to best serve them, and letting them know over and over again consistently with care, is what's going to help you build trust. And that is connection. So you connect, you let them know who you are, you get on their radar, they're aware of you, they're curious about you, they want to learn more about you, they engage with you, and they see you showing up consistently over time. You build trust, and then you build emotional relevance with your audience, and then you can move on to a very loyal relationship with them. The last one, and I've mentioned this word several times, so you can tell that this is an important concept, is consistency. So go back to when you were a very young person. Maybe you were in grade school. I don't know if you call it grade school. We call it here grade school, grammar school, elementary school. So these are the early years. And you look at your teachers, you look at your parents, you look at your grandparents, you look at your mentors, people who you look up to, and how important it was for you to trust them. And the way that you feel comfort and trust with them is because they consistently behave a certain way. You don't want your parents acting erratically. You don't want them to one day be happy and then the next day be upset and, blow up, yell over something that the day before they didn't care about. That creates confusion, but it also creates unrest. So with customers and clients, because they have so many options, not just with your competitors, but for attention, because now more than ever, we are competing for attention everywhere. So you don't capture people's attentions for very long. So there's a lot of competition out there. And what you don't want to do is create confusion because you're showing up differently all the time, and the brain just shuts off. There's no time for that. So once you capture attention, you're getting that gift. You want to provide value, and you want to do it in a consistent way regularly. So if you're on social media, you're posting regularly. If you're having live calls, if you are building a community, you want to always show up consistently, the same time, and at the same time, structure your calls the same way, because you add predictability, and that creates comfort and trust. And then from there, you can build. So if you wanted to do something a little bit different, you can do that. I will give you an example. Brand Build Collective, that's my online community, and Adejowa helped me put that together. So thank you, and that's going very well. And I've gotten to the point where now, props. So now I have consistently shown up. There's a structure to the call. So we go live 12 o'clock every Tuesday, and we end on time at 1:30 consistently. And I have framed the sessions to pretty much work the same way. And today I asked permission to the group to say, can we veer off the structure and do more of a workshop? So instead of me teaching like I am here with you today and talking, let's actually roll up our sleeves and do some work and troubleshoot. And actually you can take the reins a little bit more, and I take a step back and you drive with your questions and with you actually doing the work and showing how you're doing the work on the call. So because we've established trust, because everybody feels comfortable, they have said, yes, let's do a workshop. And so now we've moved on to a variation. But at the beginning, when you're first gaining visibility, you want to be consistent, and it may get boring for you, but your audience is going to find comfort in it to begin with. So brands that have done this very successfully, there's many, 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 but three that come to mind are well known internationally. So one is Nike. Nike is the sporting apparel, and everybody knows what they stand for. They stand for anybody can be an athlete. So when you are a person who is looking for a pair of sneakers and maybe you're getting started, Nike is a very accessible brand because it basically is saying to everybody, you can do it no matter what level you're at, just do it. And so it's a very powerful message. They've been consistent with it, and they have stood by it, and they live by it. They make apparel that's accessible to everybody. So that's Nike. Another brand that is very successful is Dove. I don't know if Dove, not the chocolate, but the actual body products. So the reason why I bring up Dove, and I'm not sure how international they are. I guess they are pretty international. But Dove has been very successful with because they took a step. They said, what do we stand for? And one of the things that they're good for is women know that they're beautiful no matter what. And so they started it in a long time ago called Real Beauty. Now, the campaign has veered off and has mistakes, understandable. The beginning of the campaign, the intention was very solid and was meant to make a connection. It was meant to make a connection to women who were tired of seeing models in ads and never seeing themselves in ads. And so they stood by that. And they've actually continued to do that and have even set an example for other brands to go ahead and show real people in their advertising versus models that no one looks like. Lastly, everybody knows Apple. Apple has many, many attributes and things that you can say about the brand. But one thing you can say without a doubt is that it has been consistent. So you know what you're getting with Apple. There is no question, and the trust level is extremely high. They don't venture into areas of massive experimentation. They've been bold with products in the past, and they've been trendsetters and innovators. But as an established brand, their consistency is bar none, and it's worked for them. It continues to cultivate loyalty with Apple users, and they are loyal to the T. So my question to you is, think about which of these pillars, as you think about your branding, which one could you work a little bit more on? Do you need to work more on your clarity and how you conveying who you stand for and who are you speaking to and what you're saying? Do you need to work on connection and creating more of an emotional tie to your ideal audience? Or are you needing to show up more consistently through your marketing? Okay, so your brand starts with the word who. So again, obviously, your brand is you, your business. But when we say it starts with who, it's because it starts with your ideal audience. And you want to put them in the center of your story. I'm not here going to tell you, make sure that you focus on talking about all the great things that your company is doing today, or talk about all the latest developments that your product is now unfolding. You can do those things, but after you have you're crystal clear and you have established your ideal audience and put their cares and concerns, their pain points, their desires, what they envision for themselves front and center of all of your branding and how you present yourself to the marketplace. So you can't connect if you don't know who you are talking to. I could be, I can create a product that I absolutely love because it's something that was a family tradition. And I've decided that I want to take this beautiful family tradition, turn it into either a service or a product, and then I'm going to bring it to market. If I never took the opportunity to take a step back and to create this and mold it in a way that the person who I'm looking to serve can truly utilize it and make best use of it, I may not have a product that sells. Just because you love it doesn't necessarily mean that the market is going to love it, or the person who you're meaning to make it for loves it. So you have to make sure that as you're dreaming up your ideal product, that it's always tied to serving a specific group of people, an audience, a ideal client. And you want to be able to test that, that it is something that's going to resonate with them. So taking the time to really understand who you're truly serving as you understand what your product is looking to solve. And you are going to gain this understanding so that you can better communicate with them once you're ready to go to market with your brand. Or if you're rebranding, you are bringing that knowledge of that customer, of that client into the mix, and you're incorporating that into how you present the value of your service or product. So your ideal client becomes your best fit, most loyal, and most profitable customer. If you're somebody that has been serving, if your business has customers or has had a number of customers, and you have enough information, enough data to understand who your best customer is, and you enjoy serving them, you are on to something. This is gold. So you want to take time, talk to them, ask them questions, test ideas out with them, and get genuine responses. Listen to them. If you are a consultant, if you're doing a service where you're actually speaking to them, listen to their questions, to their concerns, to what makes them tick, what upsets them, what makes them happy, where their attention is. Learn as much as you can about them and make them your focus. The tighter your focus, the stronger your message will become. Because again, what you ultimately want to do is you want to be able to say what you need to say about your business. And when that message goes out, your ideal client or customer says, you get me, and I need to work with you. I need to get your product right now. So that's what you ultimately want to do. Okay. So some of the things that you want to be able to think about or identify with your ideal client, there are things like your demographics. So your age, the gender, the location of where they reside, what's their income level. These are basic pieces of information that you want. You don't want to talk to the world, because when you talk to the world, you pretty much talk to no one. It's just going to be a generic message. The more targeted you are, the better, the more hard-hitting you will be, especially when you're starting out. Psychographics are, what are their interests? What are their values? What is their lifestyle? These are areas where they live, breathe, they can relax. You may want to show up there in your marketing. You want to be able to understand that. What are their pain points? What are the things that frustrate them? And if it makes sense for you to tap into those frustrations, if they tie into the service that you provide, that's a way of acknowledging where they're at, and then you create a connection to how you best serve and alleviate that pain. Again, you want them to feel heard. You want them to feel that you understand them. Understanding what their buying behavior is, where are they primed to shop? Where are they primed to get information? If you're selling information, if you're in the business of education, if you're doing a consultative service, where are they spending their time and be more primed to thinking about purchasing or considering your services? So these are important buying behaviors that you need to understand about your ideal client or customer, and then what their desired transformation is. Everybody wants to transform in some way. Not You'd be hard pressed to find a person who's 100% happy with where they're at. Even if you think you're entirely happy with who you are and where you're at, tomorrow you want to get somewhere. So you want to be able to get there safely. You want to be able to get there with a lot of peace of mind. You want to get there quickly. So what it is that your ideal client is looking to achieve, whether it's a deep transformation of some sort, people are always in motion. They're always desiring something. They're always feeling some problem that they want resolved. And so knowing how much of this affects and consumes your ideal client or customer is going to be important, because you want to understand what makes them feel a certain way. And if you can tap into feelings in your branding and providing an idea, a visualization of a dream outcome for them, you are going to definitely capture their attention and their curiosity, and they will be entering your ecosystem. And then you can nurture them, talk to them some more, be consistent with your messaging, and helping them to trust you more and more, so that they give you a trial. They give you an opportunity to serve them. Okay, so questions to ask yourself as you think about your ideal client. Who is your best current customer? So for those of you who have businesses already, and you have clients or customers, who do you love working with? Who are the ones that are most receptive to the services that you provide or the product that you provide? You getting that feedback? Think about them, understand them, study them. They will become the model for you for other clients and other customers that you want to be able to attract. So what attributes can you learn that you can then speak to and incorporate into your marketing so that you attract them? What makes them say yes to you? So if you have clients or customers, what was the thing that convinced them to work with you? So pay attention to that. So that has to do with buying behavior. That has to do with how do they gauge trustworthy people? What are they looking for in making these transactions? This is all important understanding for you as you start thinking about selling them through your messaging and your branding. What problem are they really solving by buying from you? So what is it that they are really truly buying from you? You may think that it may be a service feature, or it could also be a product feature, but look deeper than that. Look at what it is. What is the emotion that you are giving them, and what's the promised transformation you are giving them? So for example, you could be as let's say for myself, as a marketing consultant, when I am serving in that role as a marketing consultant or a brand strategist, what I am really doing is, when I talk to a business owner, sure, they're looking to do some spectacular marketing, but they may also have some pride attached to it, or they may need to feel that marketing is something that is complex and they don't know how to do it. So maybe it's peace of mind that I'm giving them, that marketing does not need to be complicated, that it is something that is accessible to them and that they can actually understand. Maybe they're not taking the time to implement it because they hired someone to do it for them, but they can understand it. So I oftentimes look at my clients and I make sure that they understand everything that it is that I'm doing for them or speaking to their team about, because I want them to have ease and feel comfort around marketing and see it as something that is essential for them and not something to fear. So think beyond the actual service. Think about what it is, that emotion or that transformation that you're looking to instill in your clients and customers as you get to know them better. Okay, so that leads me to the next section, which is, what are you really selling? So again, products meet needs, but brands create transformations. People don't buy things like candles, courses, coaching sessions. They buy who they become after using these. So now it's a good time for us to uncover what the real transformation is that your brand is selling. So what does that look like? There's 3 levels of transformation. The first one is functional. So of course, you've got a functional transformation that you're offering. You're solving a problem. It's something that's pretty simple that your services or your product offers. So for example, if you've got a cooking tool, your functional transformation is, I'm going to save you time in the kitchen. That is a functional promise. But you can go a little deeper and you can say there is an emotional transformation that you're offering. So you're creating a feeling, which is what I was talking about before. So a person who is in the kitchen may sometimes not feel too confident while they're cooking meals for their family. So you're creating a feeling of comfort in the kitchen. You may feel like, hey, I'm not bad at this and I can make my family feel really happy with the meals, and I can actually use this to bring the family together. So you're instilling confidence in this person when you talk to them about your cooking class or when you're selling them a cooking tool that they're going to use in the kitchen. And then finally, the third level of transformation that you offer is an identity transformation. So you're now talking about changes on who they become. So going back to the example of the person who is in the kitchen, now they're feeling more confident in the kitchen. Well, guess what? Now they are a chef. They're no longer the house cook that brings people food to nourish them. Now they're having culinary delights and experiences. And this person's now seeing themselves as being able to create art in the kitchen. So now this person may transform into somebody who has so much confidence that they're actually throwing little dinner parties and showcasing all the wonderful cooking things that this one product or this cooking class allowed them to experience and see themselves as. So the transformation then at the different levels, functional, emotional, and your identity. If you're able to go all the way to identity, you are going to really be able to hone in on loyalty on the behalf of your clients or customers. So you always want to think in these terms, not just on the functional or even the emotional. You want to also help them achieve an identity transformation, see themselves as somebody who is even more successful now that they've engaged with you. Okay, so too bad that I can't show you the slide. I have here a list of different trades and industries and the transformations that are sold and what's the core emotion attached to it. So just a few examples. When it comes to beauty products, fragrances, things like that, the transformation is you're going from an ordinary, everyday, the person that you wake up being, to an expressive, a confident, an unforgettable person. So whether it's makeup, a fragrance that you wear, or for the gentleman, there may be some also a fragrance or something that you use to, to take care of the way your hair looks, whatever. The core emotion that you're selling here is confidence. And of course, your identity could be of one that when you step into the room, it doesn't matter what's going on, you feel great. Catering, food, you go from feeding people to creating memories. The core emotion can be connection. Home and decor, you go from, let's say, something like physical, like clutter, and then you're creating a transformation of calm, comfort, and pride. I feel great about my home. I want to show it off. So the emotion you're creating could be either peace or status. Events, anybody who's putting together events or doing any sort of like wedding planning, you're going from, being stressed about an event that's coming. And what you're actually doing is you're creating organization, celebration, being in control. These are the things that event planners oftentimes sell. And the core emotion that they're really honing in on is ease, how easy it is to be able to work with this person and how they're making everything easy because you're really already nervous enough about the actual event, whether it's a wedding or you're doing a conference or what have you. So the event planner is taking away that stress and giving you the core emotion of ease and tranquility as you put this event together, and confidence as well. In the interest of time, I will move on, but when you get the presentation, you'll be able to see some of the other industries and the examples of the transformation that you're offering and what that core emotion that you're honing in on as you talk about your services or your product. Okay, so in terms of your positioning, because branding, oftentimes when you work with a brand strategist or somebody who's going to help you develop your brand, you're going to spend some time on creating your unique positioning. This is your fingerprint. So nobody else has your fingerprint. This is what makes you uniquely you. Everybody has a thumb for the most part. Everybody has fingers, they have a thumb, and there's, they have a fingerprint, but the actual print is unique to you. So what is that thing that's unique to you in your positioning as you think about your brand, as you develop your brand, and you, again, always keeping your client or customer in the center of that story. So your positioning is the space that you own in your customer's mind. It answers who you serve, what problem you solve, and how you're different. You don't want to use vague terminology like quality or best service and all that, because that has become commoditized. Everybody says those things. You want to be able to not be different for the sake of being different. You want to be uniquely you. So if you do have quality as the thing that sets you apart because you're looking at your competitors and the quality is just not there, and you want to come to market and really instill the fact that you stand above everybody else when it comes to quality, think about what quality means to you and what way can you talk to it that resonates with your client, that matters to them. So what does quality mean to them, and what does it mean to you? And find a way to intersect the two and talk about quality in that unique way that makes you stand out. So when you create what's called a UVP, a unique value proposition, you want to think about what your customer wants most, what you do best, and what competitors overlook. What are the things that the competitors are not doing? And if you can tap into a passion, so gosh, I am so upset that every single person in my county or in my geographic area that has a website gets a crappy website done and they don't know any better. That makes me mad because all these people are doing crappy websites for them. I stand for beautiful websites. Then talk to that, hone in on that, lean on that, and feel passionate about that, and talk to your clients and your customers. Why should they have a better looking website? What is it that they're accepting because they're maybe not aware of, that you're going to educate them on and tell them this is the better way? So you're basically looking at, how do you shepherd your clients and customers and lead them to their desired outcome or to their promised land in the most effective and the best way, and the only in the way that only you can do that. You want to be able to incorporate all of that into your unique proposition, your unique value proposition. It's called your UVP, and it's something that brand strategists work with you on, to really hone in, because it takes time to fully develop it. It's an intersection between what you stand for, who you are, what you stand for, and also who your client is, and meeting in a way that coincides and brings the two together. That's your unique fingerprint in your business. So the UVP formula, unique value proposition formula, is oftentimes one simple sentence, and it's structured as: we help blank achieve blank through blank unique way. So for example, we help busy professionals create stress-free events they'll actually enjoy. And you can even add to the statement by the unique way that you do that. Another example could be: we help small business owners look like premium brands without the big agency pricing. So these are ways of conveying who you're serving, what is it that you offer to them, and how do you do it. It's a very simple framing that allows you to put it into a simple statement, and you can repeat it over and over again in networking events, when you're presenting yourself in group chats, meeting new people, when talking about your business. And one important thing: if you can't explain it simply, your audience won't remember it. So simplicity and clarity, remember I talked about clarity at the beginning, are key. You want to be clear, you want to be simple, you want to be accessible, you want to be memorable that way. Okay, so your message is your magnet. And this is the framework that I use when I'm starting to put together messaging. So I mentioned this several times. Your customer is the hero. They are at the center of how you talk about your business. You don't rattle on and on and on and on about who you are, what you do, what all that. That's in your bio, sure, but that's not when you're talking to your ideal audience. They want to hear about themselves. They want to hear how you are going to make them better. So you want to put them first. You want to make them the hero of your story. You want to define their problem, because you need to set the stage for why you're even engaging with them. And then you want to position yourself as the guide, and you are the guide with a plan. So what is it that you do and how do you do it? You also show what the solution is. So what outcome are they getting that's so desirable? And you paint that transformation for them. So an example could be: you're overwhelmed planning your next event. We'll take care of every detail so you can enjoy a stress-free celebration that feels exactly the way you envisioned. Beautiful, seamless, and unforgettable. That statement, guys, said one thing about the business. Everything else was the customer, what they want, how they're going to experience the transformation, how are they going to feel as they're getting the service. It's about them, them, them. But believe it or not, you're telling them about them, 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 but you're really saying about you, because you're creating that experience. You're the guide. You're the one who's making that possible. So you're overwhelmed planning your next event. I am. Man, you get me. What else? We'll take care of every detail. That's when you say something about yourself so that you can enjoy a stress-free celebration, feel exactly the way you envisioned. This event is going to be beautiful, seamless, and unforgettable. That's a perfect example of how you talk about your business with your customer or your client in the center. So, my question to you, does your content speak about your customer story or is it all about you? Please think about that and see how you can reframe it so that you can incorporate more of your client as the hero of your brand story. Okay, so a quick win is rewriting your messages. So you want to be able to do it by articulating your customer's pain, what your promise is, and the results that they'll feel. So one example could be, tired of generic gifts? We help you create personalized pieces that make people feel seen. So there you are talking about the customer's pain first, and then you're talking about your promise. You're creating personalized pieces that make people feel seen. So that's how your product is going to make them feel, or how this experience is going to make them feel. But it's always grounded on the customer first and their pain. Okay, so just a few more slides, guys. Thank you so much for hanging in there. Consistency builds trust. I talked about consistency, so I'm just going to say just a few more things here. You want to be able to have your brand feel and show up the same everywhere. So the same tone of voice, online, offline, colors and fonts are consistent. Messaging is aligned with your values. You want to be able to represent yourself, your true self at all times. This is so important. And it's easier when you're first getting started. But as you grow and more people come into your business and start representing your brand to others, whether it's a salesperson, whether it's customer service, it could be a vendor that you work with, but somehow is representing you in some capacity. You want to be able to be so clear about what you stand for that any venture away from that, you need to have a conversation with this person. So it's instilled in the company, instilled in your business, that this is how we do things. This is what we stand for. This is how we always treat our customers. This is what's most important to us. This is, who we are and how we show up consistently every time. So when you're doing your social media, make sure that every post reinforces what your promise to your client or customer is. I know that in my posts, my most important thing is that the person who's consuming the post is going to get a takeaway out of it. I sometimes incorporate personal stories into it. It's not to make myself better. It's not to make myself look like, the big expert. It's always positioning. I choose to position myself as the teacher, as the guide, as always, hey, I was in this situation, but I learned from it. And this is what I learned. So this is how I've shown up on my socials always. And I rarely veer from that. Everything that I post has an a desired action or outcome that I want to instill in the person who's reading the post. So that's how I reinforce my promise in my brand. And think about what it is that you're promising. What's that transformation or that thing that you're looking to gift to your audience, and do it consistently as you're building your trust. Okay, so I talked about differentiation. I have some examples here of different brands that have done a great job of differentiating themselves to the point where they've become iconic or considered the best in their industry. And so 3 examples are perfume. When you think of the quintessential perfume, who do you think of? Chanel number 5. That may not be your preferred perfume, but when you think of an iconic perfume, How did they do it? Obviously, they did it consistently, but they also did it because they have presented always a promise. It's not just a handmade scent or a beautiful scent. It's a personal identity in a bottle. It's your signature. It becomes your signature a scent, and that scent that you carry with you this conjures sophistication because they've associated Chanel No. 5 with sophistication. So you want to be able to differentiate, very different from another fragrance that may be more youthful, or something that conveys, allure and being a little bit more sexy. So these fragrances are great examples of brands because a scent is a scent, and it's really not rocket science. And there's maybe one small variation or tone or thing that's incorporated into it to differentiate it from that one to that one. But what is it that makes Chanel No. 5 so, high in price is the branding around it and all of the promise that they have associated with using this fragrance and the consistency around it. I will move on. Oh, we're at the last slide. Wow. So my closing slide here is to leave you with the following. So strong brands, they don't chase clients, they attract them. So what you want to be able to do, and in order for you to attract uh, your ideal client or customer, because again, you don't want to attract the world because that's not feasible. You can become an iconic brand, and that just means that you're recognizable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're for everybody. And the Chanel No. 5 doesn't become Chanel No. 5 for babies. Like, no, we're not going into fragrances for little babies. It's always a sophisticated woman. Chanel can also, if I know that they have fragrances for men, so fragrances for men can also create the allure of status and all of that. So they've really cultivated that. So you want to be able to be clear about who you're talking to and what emotion you want to evoke, what transformation are you promising, and then you put it out there with your customer, a client in mind, and then you will see how you will start attracting them. So that's so important. And you pay attention. Are you attracting the person that you want to attract? You're onto something. You're on the right track. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. And the quote is, your brand is the single most important investment you can make in your business. And this comes from Steve Forbes. Forbes is a business titan who went as far as creating a publication so that they can educate and keep business owners involved. So this is somebody who clearly knows business. So with that, I will leave you with, if anybody's interested in strategy sessions with me or learning a little bit more about brand build, let me know, or let Adeshua know, and she'll put you in touch with me. I so appreciate your time. I know that we started late, and for those of you who have been able to stay on, I truly honor you and rooting for your great success. And the fact that you came today says that you're really working hard to think about your brand, and I wish you all the best in your business. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, too. Thank you so much. This was very refreshing. The sweet part of it is every time that I listen to you talk about branding, even if I've heard you teach me this before, it feels fresh, it feels new, right? So I want to say thank you. I have my notes here with a lot of things, and I like the last part that you said. Strong brands don't chase clients, they attract clients. So it means that if I do everything I'm supposed to do about my branding, it would definitely attract the right set of people to me. Thank you so much. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Does anyone have question? I expect you guys to have questions anyways. So if you have questions, you can how do we want to do that? Okay, let me see. Do we have questions? If you have questions, please let me see, hand up, or you put it on the group. Okay, Nira is currently typing. Would you like to unmute your mic and then ask your question? Okay. All right. So I would, yeah, I think you can unmute your mic. Go ahead. Niraya, can you hear me? Okay, someone has a question, but oh, okay. I think I lost her, but she's currently on the call. So if you can hear me, just unmute your mic so that we can hear you, and then we can hear your question. Any other person? Okay, I think I have a question though. So I like the fact
I'm
that
here now. Sorry.
welcome, ma.
Sorry, I had to do a setting because my mic was not coming on. Okay, thank you.
All
So
right.
my question is, for some of us now that we are starting our brand or company and we are getting things like, build your personal, like you as a person should drive build your personal brand, like your face, like most of the things that I'm seeing now. I see a lot of most of these influencers is even through them that we know their businesses. So it's not many of them, so it's not the business we knew first. They were the ones we knew first. And I'm kind of like, so I, because I have something that I'm building, and I'm like, I'm trying to, like, so I actually opened a separate page, but I know that people always want to find a face. And one of the things that I know I don't want to do is, people see me as that brand when I'm a separate person, especially those of us that we know we are many things and we don't want people to just, yeah. So how, I don't know how should I be part of those that believe that, oh, let it be your face, let it be your face. But I just want a kind of thing that people can just separate, I am Joy, and then they know this is the brand. Yes, fine, I'm the CEO, but it can just function like I'm one entity and the next, or I should just go all out and
Do you
I
want to
don't know how to do that.
tell us a little bit about the other business? What are you doing exactly that you don't want your face to be in that one?
For example, the idea I have for my company is more like uh branding, and like something new, and an event management company that also dives into branding, visibility. I see it as a visibility firm in essence. So, and things like this, because I'm still the first person. Of course, I'm the one managing the account, I'm the one going for the content creation, for the media coverage. So for now it's just me. Of course, there are some people that will be coming in as time goes on, but for now it's just me. I don't want it to look like, like some freelance. I don't look like, if these freelancers that are like videographers, because I'm many things,
Okay.
you
Wait,
know,
wait.
from
Oh,
that. Yeah.
okay. I understand. So Mitchell, she's asking a very valid question, right? She's saying, okay, she does a lot of things, and right now she wants to go into branding, a media company in quotes that settles events coverage, and at the same time gives visibility to whatever thing is going on. Now she's trying to say, how does she separate her face as a person with the company? So how do I separate my personal, you know, me as a person from the AKL as a brand? That's
Okay.
an example, for example. Yeah. So how
Yes.
does
Yeah.
Mitchell stay away from Maldonado Communications?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So this is a great question. I would say that you start with your customer first. Remember that I talked about your customer. And if your customer needs to, if it's let's say it's an event experience type of company. I know that customers are going to want to feel that this is a company, not an individual that's doing this event by themselves. So think about how your customer is going to perceive your business if it needs to feel a little bigger than just you as the individual. If you are the individual, you can very well be the individual, but you're probably going to hire a photographer. You're probably going to hire, a venue and do all of these things. You want to convey trust and confidence with your clients or your customers that you can carry through on whatever. So I would answer that question. How are you showing up for them? Is it a business that needs to come across as a business, or does it need to have a face? So if it's not clear, it could go both ways and there's value on both. I would say think about your audience. Like, do you have an audience that you have built either with another business that's similar, and now you are launching something that kind of makes sense? So what wouldn't make sense is if you are selling, bathing suits, and you've built a brand as somebody who designs bathing suits or whatever, and then now you're going to be selling, souped up cars. Like, it's like it's too different. So if you're in the same arena and you can leverage the audience that you've built to then create a new brand that has some connective tissue or it's in the same orbit, you can start off by leveraging your audience and letting them know that you're launching this business and that you want them to follow it. This is what it's about. This is how it's related to how you know me already. And these are the values and the important things that I'm transferring into this new brand and this new experience and how I'm looking to serve a whole new audience of people or an extension of who I already serve. So if you can capitalize on your already established and it's a natural fit, you can launch it as a business that doesn't necessarily have to have your face on it, because you'll talk to it, but you'll talk to the name of the company. And then with time, you can start introducing other players that can speak to the business credibly, and then it's really about the business and the values of the business and all that. But you can kind of like lift it up by leveraging your audience if it makes sense to them to learn about your new business. So my answer to the question is, first, think about who you're serving and who your client is or your customer, and how would they like to perceive this new business that you're building. Do they want it to be extremely personable and they know you already and you want to leverage that? Or do you want to show a business that is beyond just one person, that has strength in numbers, if you will, even if it's just you? You want to be able to then put it out there as a like we do this. This is like I talk about Maldonado Communications as an agency, and it is an agency, but I am the spokesperson. I am the person that represents the company. It has my name on it, but I talk about it as a we, and I do leverage my current audience, and I talk about my values. I talk about serving the customer. I talk about the things that educate people about branding. And when they look me up, they see that I'm the owner of Maldonado Communications. So when they engage with me, they're hiring the agency, but I'm the spokesperson.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope that helps. The truth is, now in 2025, I'll tell you upfront, if you are still a very small business, we need your face. Because I'm coming to your Instagram page and you have just 150 followers. You have not sold any credibility to me in any way. Why should I buy from you? And now I'm checking your page and I can't even find a face to hold just in case anything goes wrong. I'm definitely going back to the bigger brands. So, like she said, leverage on your existing audience to push this forward. Like, for example, the first speaker we had for this business series was Mr. Olubori Paul. Mr. Olubori Paul started growing Golan Africa as a finance literacy platform. All they did was teach people how to make money. And after a while, I think 2 years later, he came up with another company, Go Digits. That one teaches about Forex. Now, still how to make money. And then here in 2025, he launched a new real estate company. So now he's teaching people how to make money. Now, when they are done making that money, they come spend it in his company. They come buy lands from him. Do you understand? They are different businesses, but at the same time, it's leveraging on the audience. This platform has thousands of followers who are taught how to make money. When you're done, come and invest right in my other company. So you need to try and find a way to link these things together. What are you currently doing? And what is the new thing you are bringing? Leverage on credibility, leverage on what you have already. I would advise that you try that. I'm sure that it would work, especially in 2025. People want a face. That's the truth. Your customers want a face. Um, we've taken a lot of time today, and I hope that everyone is learning and you're not wasting your time here. I know that. We will take one last question and we'll call it a night. I think Daniel. Is Daniel here? Daniel, do you still want to ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Yeah, hi, Daniel. Okay, please go ahead.
Actually, I wanted to ask.
Please be
Okay.
audible so she can hear
Good
you.
evening, everyone.
Yeah,
Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
So, actually, I have a question relating to returning clients. You made mention of sharing related values, and of recent, I've noticed that the rate of my personal returning client had reduced. So, I want to just know, how do we pinpoint, or how do we know why the client is patronizing, or what value the client himself is getting from the product?
Okay, so Mitchell, Daniel runs a craft business. He makes footwears and he makes them really good. I also have one of his footwear here in my house here. And now his question is, he has recently noticed that a number of his clients are not returning back to buy more. So this question is relating to returning customers. Now he's saying, how can he figure out what the problem is and what does he do to get these people to come back to him? What do you think?
Yeah. So, do you have a method of staying in touch with your customers? Like, do you have a newsletter? Do you capture their emails and stay in touch with them with company news, with new products out? How do you stay in touch with them directly?
Majorly, I use monthly greetings, and at least after purchasing from us, within the first 2 weeks, I reach out for feedback and the likes.
Okay. So you've reached out for them to give you feedback. Okay. Is there perhaps maybe there's a way to incentive if you really want to get people's feedback or even testimonials to incentivize them with, I don't know if you're in a position where you can create a discount or you can even couple it with bringing a referral in so that way you get an additional customer and it covers the cost of the actual, freebie or discount that you give to the person. And then, you wrap that with some level of inquiry in terms of the services. I think that letting your customers know that you value them, and that you want to create a sense of, like, remember what I said, like, you want them to feel heard. So you in the best way that you can communicate with them. And if you do have email, or if you have text messaging, if you have their phone number and you can text message them, if they've opted into that, you can start communicating with them, but come to them from the perspective of being of service to them, not necessarily asking them for something right away. So if you do ask them for something, give them something in return for their time. So if it's a survey, they get a gift card or they get a discount on their next purchase. So that way, if they haven't purchased for you in a while and they have a discount, that's an incentive for them to go ahead and start purchasing from you again. The product also can be something to think about, why they're not necessary. So if it's footwear and the footwear is very it's expensive, but then it's also very well made, they may not need to replace it. They're just happy with it. So what you want to do is you want to incentivize them to refer you to somebody else, so that, or maybe they can gift your product to somebody else. So start talking to them about it being a great gift, or something that they can share with someone else, or they get some reward for bringing somebody else into you getting their email and getting them to purchase your product or to look at your product in some way.
Thank you so much. I'll say same thing, because the footwear I had from him since 2023, I'm not capping. I still have it in my house, and it looks good every time I bring it out, when I'm going out. Now, if you still have those designs, I am likely not to buy them because I already have them. So you must find ways to introduce something fresh, a new design, so that they can buy more. And also, Christmas is coming. There's a lot of I think there's Black Friday coming. There are a lot of things to up on right now. Like she said, introduce it to your customers. This is a very good gift, and made with love. You need to spice it up. You need to package it and make it look appealing. Create an offer, irresistible offer for people. Christmas is coming, just walk around something. So, very correct. If they have slides from you that is still serving them, so what's the need buying another one, right? So, I think you should try out what has been said, and I'm sure it would work very well. We're going to stop here today. I want to say very, very, very big thank you to you, Michelle. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm grateful. Trust me, there are a lot of people that are still going to watch the replay of this video, because we usually have close to 60, 70 on a call on an average, but it's very low today. But I'm sure everyone here has, please, guys, I need feedback. How was class today? Come on, tell me, talk to me.
It's enlightening.
Okay. Okay.
It's clear.
Okay. Oh, it's
Here.
just one person in this class. Oh my God.
Class today was so great. And
Okay.
please, can
Okay.
you please
Thank you.
repeat the quote
I can't hear
again?
you, but I think I can hear you a little bit. All right, Mitchell, we want
Well,
to
thank
say a
you
very
so
big
much
thank
for having me.
you. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you
Okay,
so
take care,
much.
everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I mean, we overshot the time today, and